Hello, everyone. LP here, and I wanted to drop in and tell you about some things that are going on. You really do need to be paying attention to this because the people out there in the blue ties have lost their mind and they are now messing with the people in the middle. So, without further ado, as you know, I actually pay attention to the news, to the independent news makers, and the people who are actually talking about things that make sense. And Wogpog actually does do some really good work. I've been on his live spaces before. Very intelligent guy, and this kind of got passed to me. So this Edward Dowd guy, I want you guys to listen to this, okay? And then we're going to go into detail, and I'm going to show you where this is actually coming from. So in his post here on X, it says this needs to be said now, and I will be attacked. So he knows what he's saying is wrong. I have no proof, so it's a literal conspiracy theory, but bears watching with eagle eyes, which means, listen, watch what I'm saying. Listen to me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Conjecture. If I were in the shadows and had an agenda of ushering in a reset to control the end of the current Ponzi debt-based fiat system with a CBDC, we all know that's a super sucky idea, and a surveillance state, I would need to tame and bridle the populist MAGA movement. I wouldn't abandon the useful idiots on the left and embrace the right and infiltrate and bribe my way to my agenda under the cover of a win. So basically he's saying infiltrate MAGA Republicans. If Trump ends up in office, and we observe personal choices or actions that strip away any of our liberties, and why would that actually happen anyway? Away under contrived circumstances, basically making stuff up to get your way. He will know, or we will know, then the above theory has some merit. Some merit, which means it has no merit. You're reaching here, buddy. And I'm going to show you how smart these dumb people are here in a second. Clearly, the current cult regime must go. Ooh, that didn't set up any red star clusters. But be on alert for a new cult and hidden agendas that may come to pass. I have a personal fear that the thing that we cannot speak of will be a memory hold. Okay, guys, so I'm going to show you who this guy is right here. Edward Dowd. Now, you're thinking it doesn't matter. You're right, it doesn't, because he's just an idiot. He is a useful idiot. And he is the founder of Pinnacle Technologies, author of Cause Unknown, The Epidemic of Sudden Death 2020. I'm not even going to repeat that. He's got 296,000 followers on X. Now, if you go deeper into the rabbit hole, you're going to run into this lady right here, okay? And we're going to play this video, and I want you to pay attention to it because she's going to say some stuff that is going to kind of rattle your cage. So let me make this bigger for you. Boom. And then we're going to push play, and we're going to go from there.
So, my big concern is the Republicans are now going to be used to market the control grid to conservatives. And I think my message, looking at what's been happening, is we have to double down on our efforts to stop the control grid. So if somebody tells you that we need biometrics or digital ID to deal with election fraud or the border, don't believe them. Don't believe it. It's a marketing job for conservatives. Any comments on any of those meetings?
Can you just expand on that a little bit, Catherine, on the biometrics? Just explain that to our people a little bit more thoroughly.
Okay, so if I want to go to an all digital financial system, which is where I get the power, I mean, what we're looking at is a coup d'etat, and the coup d'etat is changing control of fiscal policy and the legislative and executive branches from representing the people to being controllable by the bankers. What an all digital financial system allows the bankers to do is to run all of that fiscal policy and all of the legislative policies through the financial system. So the bankers literally, it's a coup of the bankers to take control of the whole government instead of the banking half. So traditionally, we've had the people's representatives in the legislative branch and the executive branch, and then we've had the bankers run the monetary policy. Now the people who run the monetary policy, grossly oversimplified, can take over the rest. It's exactly what we saw that great video of Carstens from the Bank of International Settlements saying, we can make the rules centrally and we can enforce the rules centrally, and that includes taxation without representation. And so the question is, how can you sell this? Chairman Powell has said he needs new legislation and legislative authority to do that. And of course, you need a way of selling conservatives on, I hate to say this, giving up their First Amendment rights, giving up their Second Amendment rights, giving up their guns, or having gun control radically increase. But most of all, they need to be sold on digital IDs and biometrics. And what Trump and that group is really good at doing is saying, oh, we have to stop immigration on the border. So everybody needs an ID so we can send the immigrants home and stop immigration. That's number one, or we need more surveillance and more control. And that includes the digital IDs and election fraud. So there's a real push to get conservatives to buy into the control model, for different reasons that are used in different sort of marketing to the, people of different political persuasions. And what we're seeing, and I'm just reading between the lines at the RNC, we're using all sorts, it's really beautiful, seeing diversity used as a way of pushing out the patriots. And there's a real effort now, I think you've seen a lot of factions coalesce around a Republican sweep of both Congress and the presidency. And on that sweep, they would love to push through the control grid. I don't know.
Okay, so that was the lady. That was, I can't say it enough. This is how deep, how dark, how crazy the rabbit hole is. Now, when you go and look for this woman, it says that she's a Republican, okay? But then you start to find stuff like this.
So the single most important thing we need in this country is transparency. And the reason I'm so enthusiastic about Kennedy's campaign is I think he's doing an absolutely outstanding job of not only bringing transparency to what's happening in America, but making it interesting. After he went down to the border, he talked about the harm being done to the people being brought in, the harm being done to the people who are here. He gave it a 360-degree view. Every discussion I've ever heard in a political forum until recently on immigration is stupid because it's, you would call it binary, but it's oversimplified. It's full of spin. He's reaching people, and I think you're watching other candidates jump in because they're saying, oh, people who want to have a real conversation are welcome. They're saying, I can't win in a spin game, but if you want to talk about real policies, there's room for me now. So I think he's bringing out other candidates. Trump had a lot of transparency, but nothing like what Kennedy's doing. Kennedy's taking it to a whole new level. If you just look at what Bobby has accomplished so far, it's a miracle because he's been censored and suppressed. He's built thousands of pathways, through the dam. And now it's broken through and you can't stop it. So the worst thing that can possibly happen on this campaign is he brings massive transparency and the world has changed forever.
Isn't that special? You can't make this stuff up, guys. You can't make this stuff up. So listen, what I wanted to do is tell you that none of this needs to happen. None of it is as they say it is. I want to show you guys something, okay? Let's see if I can make this. I don't know if I can make this an actual presentation or not, since I'm literally just winging this, to be honest with you. So let's just go ahead and I wish there was like a presentation button here someplace, but I just don't see one. So we're going to make this very simple, okay? Guys, this is something called Bat's Hide. We used it in the military. It was very successful. The U.S. government actually owns this. It's called Biometric Automated Tool Set and Handheld Interagency Identity Detection Equipment Hide. We use this to ID terrorists. It's a portable suite that basically uploads to the biometric data of individuals that you have scanned into a database, and it's a pretty kick-ass piece of gear that actually worked. It was just as quirky as any other thing, but my experience is that it worked 90% of the time, and that's pretty damn good. Now, this is from 2007, guys. This is from 2007. Lessons learned. Current field mobility devices are working well, and the warfighter is pleased. Need to define requirements up front, purpose for the device, enroll or verify, level of mobile ID devices will be employed. Now they're talking about infantry or individual squad or company, and the con ops are they're important to define in the use cases. Now here's the thing that's important, guys. Here's the thing. This is why I want to tell you. This isn't just me talking. Okay, this was actually a presentation to the Department of Defense through the U.S. Army. Okay. It's already ruggedized. And what were the impacts of its use? There was 1.5 million automated biometric identification system entries. There were 240,000 matches. There were 167 IED latent charge or latent matches. So basically, if somebody set off an IED and they found their biometrics or they got their latent prints, they found them on the explosive parts of the IED and they found them. 193 non-IED related intent matches. So basically, they found devices that never went off. 9,524 terrorists on the DoD biometric watch list. Guys, we can't fall for this game where they're gonna try and push this out. They're gonna try and say that it's the Republican agenda. They're gonna say that's the only way to stop anybody. But no one is gonna talk about this unless you do. No one's gonna be sharing this video unless you do. So that the people who want to play these games, who are pretending to be conservatives, that have completely they've batched everybody together to be the the MAGA crowd, and that's right, I'm on YouTube, so I have to say this. And so they're trying to control the narrative and then trying to get what they want. We can't allow them to do this. Please share this video with everybody you can find. Put it wherever you want. I don't care. And I think that's all I wanted to say. As usual, stay safe, have a great day, and I'll see you when I see you. And don't fall for their games, guys. Don't fall for their games. Bye-bye.